Hello guys, my name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you support my country and you want to have an ordinary Ukrainian friend, please subscribe and help me and us fight informational war. It is very real. I'm a bit of a teacher, so I will start my today's conversation with an illustration. What happens if a serial killer is not stopped? He will continue killing. We like watching such documentaries, spooky films that help us distract from reality, but actually these are awful people who led to dozens of tragedies in someone's life. And if serial killer is not stopped, he continues killing, and what is worse, he inspires similar black minds to repeat his practice. And this is what Russia does. If it manages to win at least something in Ukraine, it will inspire other authoritarian regimes like North Korea or China or Iran, or there are others you can think of, to invade other territories which they toxically consider zones of their influence. Many believe that policy of appeasement can be a solution to Russian war in Ukraine, but of course not, because if you start negotiating with terrorists, you lose everything. If you're not yet subscribed and you agree with me that Russia is very similar to a serial killer that must be stopped, prosecuted and potentially hanged, please subscribe. But many people try to equate this appeasement approach with peace, and no one can say peace no. But Ukrainians always wish each other peace only after victory, and that is vital because unpunished evil grows. After the Second World War, almost half, a very big part of Europe, was lost. Many could have saved us. In the United States, in Britain, there were ideas to continue the Second World War and to stop Stalin from terrorizing peoples and countries that were occupied by communist regime. But all were tired, we were hidden behind the Iron Curtain, little did people know about the crimes committed by communism, and we remained in the shadow of this dark empire that still spoils life of Ukraine, of Georgia, of the Baltic countries, of Poland, threatening and killing, as in case with Ukraine. Recently, I have read one article by Françoise Tom, who is a researcher in the field of USSR and propaganda, but also there are other articles that attract attention to a very dangerous strategy that Russia started applying, adopting itself to this war that does not go according to Putin's plan. They are trying to make friends in the countries that sympathize them, and there are lots of countries who support Russia even at the moment, and we see that when United Nations vote, for example, for the sake of Russian support because they were fans of Soviet Union or Russian influence is present in many African countries, for example, they vote and they support Putin's regime. They like this strong hand covered with blood. Also, so they are trying to develop this network of countries that support them. Also, they try to finance, they try to find people in other countries, in governments, in media, influential people all over the world, in the European Union, in the United States, in Canada, in Australia, elsewhere, people who either don't understand that they are helping Russia and inspire them spreading some propaganda messages, or people who openly support Russia, but now it's not in fashion, so they hide it behind beautiful phrases like we need peace, we need strong Russia, Russia should not be humiliated. A question: can you imagine someone saying Hitler should not be humiliated at the end of the Second World War? No, it seems to me Putin has committed enough crimes to be very humiliated. Please like and subscribe and share if you agree with me. Also, they write lots of articles, they inspire lots of articles, they fund lots of articles in influential and popular media all over the world to show this good Russians, or the fact that we need Russia, fall of Russia will cause lots of problems, or these Ukrainians' territories are not that important, and then Elon Musk will spread that too. It may seem funny, of course, he's a dork, no one takes him seriously, but come on, many people follow him, and especially those who don't have their own opinion can listen to him and follow these messages, spread them in their working places, in their families, in their environments, thus shaping pro-Russian support, which is very dangerous and very toxic. And also, Russians use these positive words when they talk with the democratic world. They say, don't you want peace? Don't you want forgiveness? And they feel like they are ready to negotiate. Ukraine gives up territories, then the spokesperson of NATO repeat that, and you will get peace. This is not peace in this case. If Russia does genocide, kills thousands, destroys half of the country, gets these territories, and Ukraine wins the war, it is not victory. It is humiliation and the beginning of a really dark era for all the democratic world if it goes that way. Also, they try to support various movements and political parties that otherwise would never be popular. For example, in the US, in France, in Germany, they give them money, they help them with media, they have really strong connections, and come on, Russian propaganda and Russian secret services, they were always working really good, contrary to Russian org army. And they try helping these parties, but then they demand them to push Russian messages, and they are ready to do. What is also very absurd and what demonstrates that Russia simply wants its interests to be protected, it is ready to support both ultra-right, ultra-left parties within one country. They don't care about what they do in your society. Actually, they want it to ruin, to shake it, to cause conflicts, dangers. They simply also want them to demand sanctions taking off Russia, trade with Russia, negotiations with Ukraine, territories to Russia, and forgiveness to Putin, because he is a strong leader and Russia needs a strong leader. Let's be more kind to Russian population. If you're tolerant, let's help them get liberated from this orc regime. And another very important message that they like spreading is that the world needs strong Russia. European Union, United States, they need it because this is a counter force to China. Who gave you that idea? Why do you think then when problem occurs, Russia will choose to protect interests of the world, I mean the US or Europe? Or where do you see that Russia has strength to oppose China? It is not a solution to pick smaller evil and hope that somehow it will help you fight the bigger evil. And that's absurd. But the most important message that Russia spreads, that if something happens to Putin, if his regime collapses, there will be chaos and nuclear weapons, not controlled, will fly all over the planet. Well, with Putin spreading the messages that he is ready to nuke everyone, everywhere, I don't know what makes you feel safe with him. Another thing, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, nothing actually happened. And if Putin loses power, people will leave him very quickly, even his supporters. Russian population is not a society, it's a population, it's extremely depoliticized, and it will not go in a civil war. It demands much effort. What will happen if Russia collapses? Criminal reorganization or like redistribution of money and funds. And that's it. And if you're afraid that Russia may use nuclear weapons, it's very likely that with Putin, with strong authoritarian leader, it will do the same. So it's better to develop good air defense systems, various measures of prevention, and perhaps a spy system that is ready to stop a leader who is ready to do so. Because I don't have an answer to a question why so many global leaders believe that a strong totalitarian leader that disrespects democracy, freedom, and human life is a good guarantee that nuclear weapons will not be used. Honestly, I don't understand that at all. And the very best way is to get ready to fight with Russia, to stop Russia. Russia is weak, Russia is angry, and we cannot follow the demands of the terrorists because this only makes them want more. And Russia is a terrorist state. Introduce yourself to our beautiful merch. We have a Halloween collection that tells a lot about Russian orcs and monsters and Ukrainian magical resilience. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons. Subscribe to my Threads, Telegram, join my Discord, and follow me on Instagram. I'm pretty active there. But most importantly, thank you for your daily support of Ukraine. Share this information and help us win. Слава Україні!